everybody, how are you? I'm Chayut and I'm so happy to be here. Like always, we are meeting here every Thursday at 1 o'clock. And what I am looking to do today is talk with you about. I have some problem with the camera, but now it's okay. Talk with you about branding. So I hope you are here and I'm looking forward to talk with you about branding. Let's dive in. Just let me know when you are here, who is here with me. I would love to know that. Let's talk about branding, and I want to talk about the 4 quite simple steps of branding your product or business. First of all, everyone is talking about branding, and all of you know that you have to brand your business. But what is this branding? What is it all about? Okay, we know that it is the name and logo. And okay, so first of all, what is branding? The name and logo are part of the branding. But what is branding? Branding is the process of creating an identity, a memory, and differentiation in the mind of your customers about your business and product. Think about it. Think about people that you know. When we think about them, when we see their name, when we hear about them, we have a picture in our mind. Who are they? What their name? How do they look like? What we think about them? That's what we want to build to our brand. But we have the tools to do that. And the beautiful thing about branding, and that's something that I learned really at the beginning of my 33 years marketing career, thanks to good agencies I worked with and some consultants. The strength of branding is that it always do both. It attracts customers, it's the best way to sell, and it really raises the value of your company. Think about it. I always said much before we had the internet and we had social media and Mark Zuckerberg, and even before we had the iPhones or Apple, some of you already had it, but before I had heard of Apple, I said that brand is the biggest asset you can have. Much stronger than a home or an apartment. Okay, when we have a brand in the mind of people, think of big brands that we know, like Apple, like Coca-Cola, like Nike, like Google, like Facebook. Okay, this is the perception. Okay, so let's dive in, and I want to discuss today about how to brand your business. What do we have to do? And how to choose the name and logo. It's the base of the brand. It starts from there, almost start from there, and it's very important, but not too important. Okay, important. We'll talk about it. What is a leading brand? Why do we want to have a leading brand? And of course, the branding rules, or some rules that you have to know regarding your brand. They're simple. Everything about brand is simple. You just have to know that and to know what is and what you should do, but it's simple. Okay, let's go on and let's talk about what a brand consists of. Okay, a brand consists of 4 elements, of 4 things. It's the name and logo. This is the first thing. It's the visual elements that we are going to use all the time. The base of the visual elements is the name and logo, and I'll talk about it. It's the messages and the perception that we are building. Okay? This is what a brand consists of. Now, let's talk about this. I promised you that I can talk and teach you what to do in 4 steps. So, so I get some question here. Let me see. Yes, I am. I am connected to the right internet, and I hope you hear me right. Last week it wasn't so good, so I hope this week it's going smoothly. Really hope so. Anyhow, let's continue. What are these 4 steps that I talk about? Okay, the first the the first step you should do is to define your product and business and customers. I call that product and customers. In order to go further, in order to have our name and logo, in order to talk with the one who is going to design our logo, or to buy by ourselves, or to take a free logo, I'll talk about that. There are all these options are available for you. But in order to do that, you should know what is the starting point. Not the ideas that you have in mind, not all the things that you want to do, but you need to have clear answers. So, what I would like you to do, or recommend you to do, is take a paper and write the best definition, the best answers that you can write or you can find to these questions, or to these questions, or to these things. First of all, try to define what is your product or service. What is it? And do it as short as you can. Write it first, the whole sentence that you think it is, then start to clean it. Usually, when we do a process of branding, we end it by in 3 to 5 words. This is the product or service. It can be a bit more, but it should be very clear what is that, what is your product and service, and what is the problem you solve. What do you solve? What do you bring? What do you do to solve the problem? What is the problem? Okay? The second thing, this is 2 things, but under one umbrella: your product and service and the problem you solve. The second one is, who are your customers? Who your customers are. Okay? Who are the main customers, the 1 or 2 target audiences? I'll give you an example. A lot of entrepreneurs told me, oh, I'm very special. I have 2 customers. I have, for instance, the consumers, and then I have the stores or whatever. So, most of us have more than 1 customer, but we want to think, who are the main customers that are going to buy from you? And if there are 2 or 3 target audience, or if you have end consumers and someone that brings your product to them, talk about 2 or 3, but who are the main customers? And think of 2 or 3 or 4 personas or people that are really define or represent the people that need to solve the problem, that people that really already ready to buy what you have to offer, because they want to solve the problem and they want to solve it now, not those that one day will. Who are the customers that need your product, okay, and want to solve it now? And the third thing that I want you to write is, what is the main pain, need, or want, okay, regarding the problem that you solve. What is it? Try to think of their words. There is a whole process of searching a bit in the internet, in social media, to understand how your consumers, how your customers are talking about the problem or need. And it's very important to use their words. Okay? So, this is the first step. The first step is to have a paper where that you wrote the three main things about your business. What is the product or service? 3 to 5 words or a bit more. What problem do you solve? Who are your, and this is one, who are your customers? And what is their pain or need or desire? Clarify that for you, and all the time, and this is the definition of marketing, all the time think from the point of view of your customer. This is the whole issue of marketing instead of sales. Sales is giving something and getting the money for that, something that one know they want or need. When we're talking about marketing, is seeing the things from the perception, from the point of view of your customers, and then the money that you want is in their pockets, and they, once you think the way they think, you will get the money, they will get the solution. Okay? So one thing, we are writing these three things to understand, and you have a paper, what is my business, who are my customers, and what is their main pain, need, or want, better in their words. Okay? The second step is really choosing the best name and logo. First of all, I would like you to know that I prepared for my clients, I prepared a mini course, a free mini course of exactly short, but exactly how to choose the best name and logo, and what are the different options, the free options, the paid options, a bit more expensive, the cheap ones. What options do you have, and what are the rules? What should you take into consideration, and how to do this process, this short process, and how to do it short and correct as possible. So I have this mini course. I will put it at the end. I put the link, but you can reach me, contact me, comments, or direct message me, and I'll send it to you, or the link for this mini course. Okay, but when we're talking about choosing the best name or and logo for your business, and what we want to do is, first of all, we start, it's of course, with the name. Okay, what we should do about the name, there are 5 unwritten rules or things to know regarding finding the name. First of all, the main purpose of the name, as well as the logo, but we are talking about the name, is to differentiate your product or service, and to be memorable. This is the most important thing. It should be memorable and differentiated. Okay? This is the most important things, because we need people to remember us, to know what product are we talking about, and to have some picture in mind, which is the logo. Okay? So first rule, differentiated and memorable. Second, always best to try and have the .com address, website address. Okay? Very important. If it's a group, it can be the .group. But .com, not because people will find it through Google usually, or through they'll go direct because they already know who you are. However, we want the .com because it says that you are the leader of this category. So it doesn't matter if you have a dash, or if you have a by before that, or a U somewhere, but it matters that you will have the .com, because it says, they are leading this category. Okay? Third rule, only positive connections. Okay? Only positive connections. Remember, think from the point of view of your customers, your consumers, but we want something that feels good. not bad, not don't even. Okay, Corona didn't really know that that's what's going to happen, but we don't want any sign or any chance that it will connect with something that we can know that is not positive. Okay, this is the third rule: positive connections. It should be legally available to protect if you want, and if you need, you can ask a lawyer about that. And the most important thing, it should be your favorite. I don't mean that it's the name that you like most, but you should like it. Okay? And it doesn't matter so much. It should be memorable and differentiated, but this can be it can be a lot of names. It should be the .com, but you can take the name and then add something and write by the .com. It should be positive connection, and it can be legally protected, but it must be your favorite or something that you like. Although I saw when there were some partners, I saw that one really liked it and the other one didn't, and after a while they fall in love with the name. That's what happened to us. That's what happened to us with our kids, and it happens to us with our business as well. It's kind of our kid. There are three types of names, and that's the whole thing, everything I'm going to say about name now, but you have the free online course, mini online course. If you want it, I'll be happy for you to have it. The three main types of names is a name with a meaning. For example, Facebook. It has a meaning, although it's unique. The meaning was in colleges. Colleges had these albums with the photos of the students and their name. This is exactly, it's taken from there. Okay, so Facebook is a name with a meaning. The second is name without a meaning, like Google. They planned on a name with a meaning, as the legend or story says, but it's a name without a meaning, or your own name. We are talking a lot about personal brand today. It can be your own name, take Beyonce, or so many others. Okay, it can be your own name. These are the three types that we have generally: without a meaning, with the meaning, and your personal name. I personally don't recommend to call your business in the name of your kids. Okay, it's important. It's important because sometimes, and we know this, so things happen to a business, or you decide to shut it, to close it, or leave the kids out of that if you want. Okay? Now let's talk about the logo. The definition of the logo is it's a mark or symbol that promote and public recognized your product or service, your business. Okay? And this is like, as I said, think of the name and the face of a person, and that's what we use to create the perception. But think about the name of the face. It has a name and it has a look and something recognized. We'll see that, we know that this is the brand. We'll see, and with time, when you're so successful, you can see an apple and know that it is an apple and know that this is Apple. Or you can see a swatch and know this is Nike. But this is when it's not now. But I do think that a good icon is, and clear and simple, is important for names. I usually don't like names without that. Okay? Now, what a good logo combines of? 5 elements. A name, an icon. I think you need, in order to be memorable, you need an icon. Okay, Google in different colors, it's kind of an icon, but just writing your name, it's more difficult, it's more challenging to build it. So I recommend a name, an icon, tagline. Don't leave your logo without a tagline, 3 to 4 words of the product or the category that you lead or the new category that you lead, but something that will tell people, okay, this is the word, this is what it is in a way, okay? Um, Remember Nokia connecting people, okay? It's something that says, okay, people knew what it is, but it's connecting people. It was also their mission, but it was a good tagline. I'm talking a lot about taglines in the mini course, and why I'm so for taglines. I didn't think of it when I worked all the first 21 years, worked with leading brands. Because when you're already a leading brand, you don't really, everyone knows that Lipton is tea, or that energizers that I worked with is batteries. But when you are just coming and you are an entrepreneur, usually it's something a bit new, a bit unique for you. You want them, whenever they will see your logo, you want them to think, this is that. Okay? Your logo is your best real estate. It will be seen the most. Make sure that you will remind them every time, this is the look, this is the name, this is what we do. Just the word, the field, something that will say, okay, this is sportswear. Okay, and find something unique about that. Tagline, font, very important. Doesn't important which font you choose or your designer will choose, but it's important that to use this font, and I'll talk about it at this first level, at the first step. It should be used all over. So take a font that you can find and you can work with. And colors, of course. Okay? 2 to 3 colors are the best to be memorable. Why? Because when you have a small booth with your product, or when you do your site, you want to use these colors. And one day you want people to see these colors and say, this is the colors of Lipton. This is the colors of Nokia, or your brand, if you will succeed as a match. And you can. It's up to you and up to how desirable a need there is for your product. Third step, the messages. Okay, the messages are based on the needs and wants. Okay, the need and want of your customers is the messages that you will use, and you will use them mainly to drive people to look for and to buy your product. Okay, so the messages they have to tell people that you're solving the problem, but they also need to really drive them there. So it's usually said of what I call in the full process, I call the value proposition. It's not what you give, this is the tagline or the product that you defined at the beginning, but it's what will drive them, it's what they are afraid of, or you don't have to say even the messages you say, the exact word. You will say the message and you will help them to feel much secure, or to feel very safe with what you are offering them. But it's based on the need and want, and I always like that the messages contains also feelings and rationals. Okay, and emotionals and rationals. Don't be only rational, it doesn't work. Okay, what are the main components of or the main issue about the message? When you are just creating or building, even if you're 2 years or 3 in the business, with the business already, when you're creating the brand, not when you're Coca-Cola, or even not when you are Wix or somebody that in the way to get bigger and bigger. Now, when you're starting the first years of your product or business, your messages will be basically or mainly practical. Okay, it's very important. They should first knowledge people that your brand is about the field or the main problem. They should talk. You should talk with your messages as the expert of this field. The messages first, they will talk about, they will acknowledge people, let them know what it does, what you do, what you solve, but you will also use the messages to say things as an expert of this field. This will help you to build a leading brand. And you are an expert of the field of your product or service for sure. You're not maybe the only one, but you are an expert for what you provide. Okay? And the third practical mission or purpose is to create the desire and emotional feelings and the know-how, but we talked about the knowledge, and the knowledge, we talked about it, and the emotional feelings as well that you would like people to have towards your brand. Okay? These are the three things that your message should actually brings, depends. Knowledge people about what it is, what the field, talk about it as an expert, and it builds the confidence, and then create the desire or the wants for that. Okay? And the messages will be on the logos, tagline, slogans, headlines, social media, advertisement. If you will do some, I believe in social media and mainly not in advertisement, sometimes we need them, sales pitch and the like. Step 4 and the last one before I'll end, and if you have questions, you can ask them here. I don't see, we have some problems with the chat, you know that we have it every week. We didn't manage to solve it with the software we are using, so I don't see all your questions and all your responses. I see a few here, but not all of them. Okay, so the fourth step is the ongoing activity that you are going to do from having your brand logo and name, the messages, and now what you're going to do with that. You are going to base all the messages and the visual elements in everything that you do. Listen to me carefully. Whenever you talk about your product, whenever you show something that has to do with your product, it's a written brochure, it's a post, you always should use the look and feel and the messages of your brand. That's the way you build this perception, knowledge, and memorable and differentiation that we want. You always use the messages, use the colors, the fonts, the images that actually express what you want people to feel, and it comes from what they feel, what they want to solve. Okay? This is everything that you will do will come from there. A few very simple rules, and then if you have questions, and I see, but it's questions that Maria, I will have to direct. I will direct message you, okay? And Tiffany, I answered about that in the beginning. Please go and look at or listen again to the video. You will find the answer to that, okay? You will find the answer to the name and logo. You will find it there. Okay, so the ongoing or the practical rules and recommendation. The name and logo are the audio and visual identity or in the foundation of your brand. Okay? That's it. You stick to that. The name and logo must always look and sound exactly the same. And after the name and logo, your messages, your every activity, your images, your paper, your collaterals, everything that you talk in marketing, your booths, your napkins in your booth, not napkins, the tablecloths in your booth, everything, the napkins can as well, but everything should be in the colors, in the fonts, with the messages of your brand. Okay? And from now on, you always use only the logo, and if somebody is doing some cooperation with you, you send them the logo and the messages that you want them to know. 3 more things. The basis that you should always remember, but especially when we are talking about branding, all the base of marketing is all the time look, think, act, from the point of view of your customers, the temptation to choose and decide the name, the logo, the brand, the messages based on what you like and think they need is huge, but it will mislead you. See your customers in front of your eyes all the time. And the last small rule or recommendation, save everything, all your brand elements in one place because you're going to run a lot looking for them. Okay, I talked about the name and logo. As I said, hi, Stefan, great to see you here. I talked about the name and the logo. I will answer other questions if you will have them in the comments, and I really thank you for being here again. I have this free mini course about how to choose the best name and logo. Just recommendations. I don't do that, but there are the free options, the paid options, what the rules that you should take into considerations. You will find it in the comments, but just direct message me with any question, if you want me to see your logo or name, I'll be happy to. Thank you for being here with me. Bye bye. Next week, Thursday, 1 o'clock. I'll see you there.